let's talk about Denny Hamlin. Let's talk about Denny Hamlin's quick win. Obviously, I don't know if you've watched the Netflix series, but a lot of that Netflix series kind of portrayed Denny Hamlin as a villain. Obviously, after winning the race, he was faced with cheers, and then immediately thereafter, booze. And I'm not talking about booze to drink. I'm talking about booze like Kyle Busch booze. Denny Hamlin wearing the black hat. How does that work for him? Obviously, we said last week that in an argument that basically, the villain is the guy who everybody should really like. Like Denny Hamlin is from North Carolina. He's a Virginia boy, I believe. So he's an Appalachian guy. He's obviously one of the hardest workers in NASCAR. He's got 50 plus wins, which is there's very few people on the list once you get to 50, right? That list gets very small on who's in front of him. I think he's probably in the top 10 or so in wins. He's like Mark Martin. He's never won a championship. Now, Martin never won a Daytona 500 either. Denny Hamlin's got 3 Daytona 500 championship rings in his on his hand. At what point did Denny Hamlin become the villain, Taz Taylor? Because obviously with the booze, he is today's villain.
So I think I know the primary reason why he became the villain, and this is why I said last week he became the villain for the wrong reasons. It's something to go back on Denny's personal life. Something to do with, I think something to do with like him cheating on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I think that's where it all started, and like I said, like I get on a personal level why people would hate him, but I feel like when you go to the racetrack and you want to boo a driver, you want to boo them for the right reasons, not the wrong. And like I said, I want to boo a driver not because of their personal life or whatever. I want to boo a driver because I can't stand seeing them, or I hate to be, or like, I'm a fan of this guy, but he lets me down every single time. And I know that kind of scratches heads a little bit because I know fans are fans of drivers kind of like Minnesota, like say for NFL. I heard this reference last week on a podcast on YouTube. Be a Minnesota Vikings fan where, you have high hopes, high expectations, and they always end up letting you down. And they compared the Minnesota Vikings to Alex Bowman in a way, because Alex Bowman's kind of like that. But I just feel like Denny Hamlin, but I feel like Bowman has so many years left that I don't feel like Bowman is a great comparison to that. I feel like Denny Hamlin is the best comparison. I mean, at this point, if we're comparing Denny Hamlin to any, say, like sports team or sports franchise, we can go to basically today's day and age. I would say Denny Hamlin in comparison is a great comparison to today's day and age, modern era Dallas Cowboys. They always sit there and say, oh, this is our year, this is our year, this is our year. But when push comes to shove, when things really matter most, it's where the choke starts happening. And fans are let down.
Taylor just compared Denny Hamlin's career to the Dallas Cowboys, who are, by definition, America's team, and they haven't even won but 2 playoff games, 3 playoff games since 1993, their last championship. So basically, if Denny Hamlin, what Taz Taylor has just said is, if Denny Hamlin was a franchise, if he was like any other ball club, he would be most like he would be most like the Dallas Cowboys. How fitting is that? That's beautiful.
Oh, I heard that reference, and I sat back and I looked at it. I'm like, it's so true because, as you mentioned, Chris, since 1993, what have the Dallas Cowboys done? Have they made the playoffs for a few years, but have they gone anywhere? No. Who was pretty much like that? Denny Hamlin. I mean, I will say this. Denny Hamlin, in recent years, has done something that the Dallas Cowboys have not in recent years, and that's make it to the championship finale. But, again, I mean, to me, I feel like Denny Hamlin is just one of those, like, hated drivers. I think because of that reason, he just has that charisma, that pretty much let down of this is our year, this is our year, this is our year. Everyone gives them great reports all season long. Then when it comes time for crunch to move on to the championship, to get that championship crown, that's where the choke starts coming in. And I think at this point, fans are pretty much kind of sick and tired of it. So, I mean, at that point, I can understand why you want to hate him. Why you want to boo him. However, I'm going to backtrack this one here, Chris, because if we look at the last 2 years that the LA Clash the Clash at the Coliseum has happened, the winner of that race has either won the Cup Series championship or won the regular season championship. Joey Logano won the first LA Coliseum Clash and went on to win the Cup Series championship. Martin Truex won the Clash last year at the Coliseum, won the regular season championship. If we can follow conspiracy theory, which one of the two championships will Denny Hamlin snag? I mean, at this point, I pretty much feel confident that he'll win the regular season championship. But if he doesn't win that, then he's got to keep going with getting this Cup Series championship. That's starting to look like it ain't happening.
All chips need to be on board at JGR to make sure that Denny Hamlin does not leave that organization without a championship. And it's an hourglass that's running out of time, running out of sand. Eventually, Denny's going to either have to make a move, or his seat's going to run out. I mean, that's just the way that racing is.